Good morning and welcome. Good morning, Joe Neal. Glad you're in Menominee. I just left there. Yeah, think I got home about 6 o'clock last night. So had a wonderful day with my granddaughter. It was very fun, and my back held up just fine. Today it's a little stiff again, but so is my arm from hauling her around. She's 10 pounds now, so she's getting to be a big girl. So, welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance. Some of you who popped on and may not have heard one of these before are like, what is she talking about? This is your early morning intuitive guidance. Every day we gather about this time, ebb and flow a little bit depending on how well I haul myself out. And we talk about things that are important, really important, depth things, not just your run of the mill, like believing. We talk about believing, which kind of fits in with today's card. Welcome to whomever else has popped on. Your name isn't rolling, but glad you are here. So, I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum. I am so happy to be sharing this card with you. And actually, that's the name of the card, happiness. Because the more I wander about the face of the earth these days, the more people I run into are kind of Eeyore-esque. Oh, I think it's gonna rain. Or did you see what happened now? Or yeah. Good morning, Mel. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. All the practical rebels will be showing up as we go, I'm sure. Yeah, our mindset, our attitude, our perspectives matter big time. And today's card is exhorting us to shift our mindset into happiness and finding some positive things. And does that mean we're ignoring the things that aren't going so well? No. But it means that where attention goes, energy grows. So if what we're focusing on is all the negative stuff, good morning, Nancy. Glad you are here. That's what we're growing. That's what we're contributing to. When we do oh, did you see what happened? We're adding to the negativity. Let's not do that. Let's not do that anymore. We see how well that's working. Let's focus on some of the positive things. What's going well? What are we enjoying? What out of the corner of my eye, I just caught that Chrome has another update available. Every time I turn around, Chrome has an update available. But see, there, I caught myself and I laughed about it instead of going, oh, another update. Blah. No, it's fine. It is fine. We are practical rebels. So the practicalities of things are important to acknowledge, but we're also rebels. So what could be better? What could be different? What could be great? What could be fun? What could be happy? What could be joyful? So let's focus on some of that this morning. Let's start with some tapping and some breath. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. My color adjuster's having fits here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Another big one. In through the nose. Hold at the top. Out through the mouth. Settling into right here, right now. And there. Now my color's better. I don't think it likes tapping. It'll get over itself. We have a card from Denise Linn's The Sacred Forest Oracle deck. And I love this deck. The cards are very pretty. I just did another sweeping clear of all the cards that were sitting on my desk. Time for a fresh beginning. We'll see which ones grab me as I move forward here. Here we are. Bluebird Spirit, Happiness. And that's certainly a spring picture. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. All right, let's see what we have. Bluebird Spirit, Happiness. You follow the sweet songs of birds into the forest. As you find the source of the song, you see in the tree above you a flock of bluebirds. Good morning, Abigail. Glad you're here. Welcome. The bright color of their wings shimmers in the sunlight. Their song envelops you in a soft embrace of bliss. I always think bliss is such an interesting word. How many times in our lives do we experience bliss? How many times in our lives do we cultivate bliss? It's in our purview to make that happen. Good morning, Maureen. Thank you for the sunshine. Good morning, Diane. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got a nice crop of practical rebels. Although, given that we're talking about bluebirds, maybe we need to talk about the flock of practical rebels. Something I want you to notice in the lower corner There's a unicorn. That was interesting. Today is the first time I noticed the unicorn. So, yeah, open our eyes, open our hearts, see what comes into view. Okay, so here's the part where it's talking to us. This card is a harbinger of delight. Celebrate and have fun. Embrace life, yourself, and others. Say yes today. Good morning, Janine. Glad you are here. Welcome. Let me show you our bluebird card. There's our bluebird, and there's our little unicorn down in the corner feeding. Saying yes to life. Yes. Soar to the clouds and let your doubts dissolve. All is well. It's simple. Your purpose in this life is to experience happiness. That's all that's required of you as a soul. You do not need to be unhappy to please another. I often think, too, there's sort of a sense of if you're too joyful, if you have fun, too joyful, whatever that is, if you have fun, people begin to look askance at you. But if you look at the leaders that we espouse enlightenment to, they're joyful people. Buddhas, Dalai Lamas, all the things, right? They're joyful people. So, Thich Nhat Hanh, what do they know that we don't know? Well, what were they doing that we're not figured out yet? Here's our opportunity. You do not need to be unhappy to please another or to be enlightened. Whatever your circumstances, there's always something that can bring you delight, and what you put your attention on will grow. So, my delight yesterday was chatting with my granddaughter, who's about to turn 2 months old. She has a lot to say, people. She's kind of like her grandmother. She has a lot to say. So, we just sat there and she just cooed and squeaked and carried on, and it was very fun, very enjoyable. She's you can feel the old soul in her. But she's just very chatty, and now she's beginning to smile. So when her daddy leaned over the bassinet when he came home for lunch and to take the dog out, she lit up like a Christmas tree. It was awesome. When you focus on the areas of your life that bring you happiness, these areas prosper. And not only those areas, because it slops over into other areas. Again, good morning, Gwen. Glad you are here. If we focus on what is working, it helps bring along what isn't working. If we focus on what isn't working, we tend to just get bogged down in what isn't working. What's going well? That's how I always start my coaching sessions, asking people what's going well. And sometimes they have to strain kind of hard to come up with something, but because they know I'm going to ask, that many of them will say things like, well, 10 minutes before I jumped on here, I started trying to come up with something to tell you. Fabulous. Come up with something to tell me. There's got to be something. You're vertical. You're not 6 feet under. There's one. Sometimes it's a challenge. Sometimes it's a challenge. One of the fastest paths to true pleasure is through sharing and giving. So give of your heart and give your love and share your love. So yesterday, my daughter gave me a gigantic Mother's Day card, and I had made her one because this is her first Mother's Day, and it was the cutest little card. So like I'll use mine as a demonstration. The corner was turned down, so it made a little. So I made a photocopy of one of the best pictures I had of the baby and had her peeking out over the edge of the card. It turned out so cute. So we shared cards and cried and all the things. And then my sister had found them a crock pot, rummage sailing, $8 for this crock pot. And it is the bomb, people. You can brown in it on the stove. You can put it in the oven, and you can put the liner in the crock pot itself. So you can do everything in one for $8. It was fabulous. So we had a nice dinner, and then I tootled my way back here. So let's see what else we have. Happiness spreads to others like wildfire, and you can help heal the world. Dance and sing with abandon. Joy is your spiritual birthright. Do you ever drive up beside somebody and they're singing along to the music and it just makes you smile? Little things, little things. Affirm. Happiness and ecstasy flow through me wildly and freely. And you may be thinking, wildly and freely. I don't know how. Start somewhere. Like Gwen's saying, I need to get back into reciting all of my blessings each day. Yes, yes, yes. Focus on the positive. That new um, tool that I'm using from Rebecca Campbell, the last step of the tool is gratitude. Name 3 things you're grateful for. When I do that at the beginning of my day, so it helps set the tone for the day. It's lovely. It is lovely. The spirit of the bluebird says, so let me show those of you who hopped on a little later. Here's our bluebird with our little unicorn down in the corner. Here's our bluebird. The spirit of the bluebird says, all is well. Say yes to life and let your doubts dissolve. Don't wait until the future. Live life fully now. You do not need to struggle or suffer to grow. You can grow in leaps and bounds amid joy. So the CD that I'm listening to over and over and over and over and over again in the car, Joanne Barnes, she talks about that. She talks about it being like a triangle. And if what you want is at the peak of the triangle and you're finding yourself at the base, you're not going to work, you're not going to strive to get to that thing unless you have that sense of incremental adjustments. I'll take this step today. I'll take this step tomorrow. I took this step this morning. Gee, what can I do this afternoon? Little bitty incremental steps. That's what gets us there. When you look at building a muscle, what is it? It's repetition over and over and over again. It's little bitty things. It's not, I'm going to lift 500 pounds once and I'll be there. First hummingbird, rock on. That is fabulous. In the Yoop. Oof. Well, I have a gigantic bumblebee sitting in my screened in porch. How he or she got in the porch, I do not know. But I've got the door propped open so that he or she can get out. But I'm thinking this morning, while it's colder and it's a little more torpor, I might try to scoop it into a cup and take it outside. And once the sun comes up, it'll warm up enough it can fly off. But yes, yes, look for those little things. They're joyful. They're joyful. Focus on the positive. Where you are right now, let's take a moment. Close your eyes for a moment, not if you're driving. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a breath. Let it go. Opening up your lens of happiness. Take another breath. Let it go. And on this third one, when you exhale, open your eyes and find something in your purview that brings you joy. Open your eyes, breath in, breath out. Open your eyes. What do you see? Okay, so the first thing I see that I really love is my Mary Kay berry and vanilla hand cream. Why? Because it smells good, it lasts long. It's just wonderful stuff. What did you see? Put it in the feed. Maureen yesterday saw her first hummingbird. Yay. What did you just see? Anywhere we are, anything that's happening, anything we're doing, we can look around and find something. Something. Maybe it's as simple as a bud breaking through the surface. Your pretty hanging baskets, fabulous. Awesome. What else? Let's see what you come up with. Might be that cup of coffee that you've been waiting for. Might be your dog, might be your cat. Something that you see in your environment that brings you joy. Little bitty things. Little bitty things. And the more little bitty things we can find that bring us joy, the more the cumulative effects. Oh, there goes a squirrel. 2 squirrels. That's fun. That's fun. So, colorful birds on your bird feeders. Yes, yes, yes. Good, 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 good. And I love the singers, the little songbirds. This every morning around 4:00, we've got one. I think it's a robin who is just singing his little heart out. So, yes, makes for a nice start to the day. Nice start to the day. So I wish you all an awesome day. Have fun. Do some fun things. If you can't figure out what to do that's fun, find some kids. They'll help you figure it out. Drag your dog outside. They'll help you figure it out. Time for some fun, some happiness, some joy. And then think about radiating that out into the world. We're sorely in need of more joy and happiness. Let's do our part. Have an awesome day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Oh, Charlene, birds building nests. Fabulous. Awesome, awesome. I started seeing on the back porch all this stuff, and it was like the last year's end of the leaves from the iris. And I'm like, what are these doing here? Well, then I looked up, and on the porch light, there is a nest being built. So I'm going to have company. Going to lunch with friends. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Have a joyful time at lunch with your friends. Maybe talk to them about this. See if they're on board with, let's find some joyful stuff. Let's spread some happiness. All right. See you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are, especially finding and spreading joy. Bye-bye.